Sarah, I'm sure you've been in touch with your colleagues in Gaza. What has been their reaction to that announcement that there will be aid on the way, hopefully as early as tomorrow, food, water, and medical supplies?
Yes, of course, as you say, we have been in very close contact with our colleagues in Gaza to understand what's happening on the ground, what they're seeing. And we, of course, at the International Committee of the Red Cross, we welcome any negotiation, any decision that will allow this desperately needed aid to enter Gaza and begin to support the civilians who have been so heavily impacted by these armed hostilities.
We know how much of an urgency there is to get help to those people. It is 20 trucks, and there are hundreds of trucks filled waiting to get in. How much of a difference actually can 20 truckloads make?
Depending on their contents, of course, it's a great start. This is a very good start, but what we need to see is a sustained flow of humanitarian aid and humanitarian supplies to enter. We know that hundreds of thousands of people have relocated to the southern area of Gaza. A lot of these people have medical needs. They were not able to carry a lot of items with them. They really could only take what they could carry in their bare hands. People have been sleeping on the side of the road, on the pavement. They really desperately require a sustainable solution to the humanitarian crisis that we are seeing.
Right. The condition that Joe Biden announced was this, that any aid will stop if it ends up in the hands of Hamas. If that happens, the aid will stop. How can you ensure that that will not happen?
So at the International Committee of the Red Cross, our concern, our main focus is the civilian population. Of course, all of the supplies that we send in, be they medical supplies or wherever they are coming from, we welcome any checks to them, anything that would move the process of getting aid into Gaza along. Our concern is that the civilian population, hundreds of thousands of people, need this humanitarian aid. They need medical supplies, they need food, they need water immediately. It's a humanitarian crisis. This is our concern.
I'm wondering, and I mentioned Hamas because your organization, the International Red Cross, has been in contact directly with senior Hamas leadership. And one of the things that the discussions have been focused on has been the hostages. We're learning this morning, there are 203 hostages. That is the new number released by Israel just this morning. And I'm wondering, as you talk to Hamas leadership about the hostages, which were taken on October the 7th, is there any new information you can share with us this morning in terms of how they are, where they are, and what the status of negotiations is to get them freed?
Firstly, I would just like to reiterate that our hearts go out to the families of those who have loved ones that were taken hostage. This has been more than a week and a half of an agonizing situation for them, and this is one of our top priorities. As you said, we have been speaking at the highest levels, face-to-face, continually, calling for the immediate release of hostages, calling for our immediate access to them so that we can check on their well-being, so that we can create a lifeline of communication between them and their families, who are obviously very desperate for news. We will continue to engage with Hamas, as we do with all sides, to any conflict, all parties to any conflict. This is our top priority.
Can I just jump in, though, Sarah? As you said, those are the demands that you have made to allow family members to speak to their relatives who are being held, immediate access to see those hostages. Have you been able to do those things?
At this stage, I believe conversations are still ongoing. We do not currently have this access. However, we are dedicated, we are committed to relentlessly pursuing this.
Sarah, we'll be in touch with you further on that issue and on the question of aid. Thank you very much for the information this morning. I appreciate the conversation.